Hi, welcome back to another episode of Embroidery Hub. On today's episode, we're going to cover the topic applique. So for those who may not be familiar with applique, essentially what applique is the process of basically embroidering another piece of garment onto an already existing garment. So for today's example, we're going to go ahead and take this piece of denim cloth that we've ripped out of from a pair of jeans, and we're going to actually embroider it on this shirt that we have here. And so for this project, all you're going to need is, of course, the fabric that you're going to utilize is going to go on top, the actual garment that you're going to embroider on. You're going to need adhesive spray, which I'll cover why this is going to come in handy, and a pair of scissors. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so here we are. We're pretty much ready to get started. We've already gone ahead and basically hooped the garment that we're going to go ahead and embroider on. It's just your basic traditional hooping of a regular t-shirt with cutaway backing. And so what's really going to be most important when it comes to applique is the design itself. So the design that we've already have here loaded basically is just a two-step design. The first step is actually going to do the stitching that's going to actually stitch on the piece of applique onto the garment itself. Once that's done, the machine will stop and I will go ahead and cut out the excessive side of the applique to basically go ahead and hoop it back in, and then the second step of the design will actually just be a satin stitch to cover up the border to make it nice and clean, and that will be the final product. So before we even get started, what I'm going to go ahead and do is take the piece of fabric that we're actually going to go ahead and apply on top. And so this is where the adhesive spray is going to come in handy. So what you're going to do is you're going to take any adhesive spray and then you're just going to go ahead and apply it liberally on the back of the garment itself. So once we've done so, we can actually go ahead and apply it onto the garment. So you want to make sure that you get it nice and flat. Okay? And so once we have it on the garment itself, I can go ahead and just trace my design, kind of just position it where I want it, and then just go ahead and trace it. All right, and so once I'm satisfied with the positioning, then I can actually go ahead and get started. But before starting, you just want to make sure that you place the machine in automatic/manual mode so that it stops right before going to the satin stitch to give you a chance to just cut out the excess. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started. And so this is the first step in the design, where it's just basically going to go ahead and do the border. And then that's it. The machine has now stopped before moving on to the next step. So before proceeding, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the hoop. And this is where we're going to take our pair of scissors. And now we're just going to go ahead and cut out the excess garment or fabric that you utilize on top. Now for this part, you want to make sure that you try to get as close as possible to the stitch. And so as you can see, this design is pretty small for this big hoop. We could have essentially used a smaller hoop. However, it's going to make it a bit more difficult when it comes time for this step to actually cut out the fabric. So that's why we recommend utilizing a bigger hoop for this project. All right, so we've gone ahead already and cut out the excess, as you can see here. Now the only important thing to remember about this step is that when you go ahead and remove the frame to go ahead and cut it out and place it back in, just make sure that you actually don't move the frame arms using the directional arrows or just moving them at all, because then you will lose registration and your satin border is not gonna catch the applique right where it should in the center. So essentially now that it's back on, I should just be able to hit start and it's just going to catch the border perfectly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit start and it'll start doing the border around the applique. All right, and there we have it. We've now gone ahead and applied a piece of denim applique onto this cloth shirt. Now, as you can see, we got a few hoop burns on the shirt. If you'd like to find out how to actually get rid of those hoop burns, we actually have in episode 8 of our Embroidery Hub where Laura gives a great explanation on how to actually get rid of those. I want to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to our channel. Feel free to comment if you have any questions regarding this video. I also want to invite you to join our Facebook group, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery, where you can join other embroiderers and apparel decorators such as yourself. In it, you could ask questions and share tips and knowledge among one another. And for any additional information about our products and services, you can visit www.ricoma.us. You'll find all these links I mentioned in the description below. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next time.